What's up everyone? Welcome to the stream. My name is David Sinair and I have fiddled with the webcam microphone options, so please let me know if you are hearing this way too loud. If not, welcome to the stream. We are playing Metal Gear Solid: The Twin Snakes today. We are continuing our playthrough, but first I really want some feedback on the webcam changes, if it's for the best or not. So, hello Shonen. Unhinged Matrix Snake. That also works as a title, yes. The volume is good. Is it not above what it usually is? It was supposed to. It was supposed to be louder. I kinda doubled the webcam volume. So if it's not actually doubled, everything is as it always was. You don't need to see that again. I guess it had no effect. It's definitely louder. Okay, so I might need to make the game louder too. Let me know. Like I said, I have always been bothered by the fact that my stream is way lower than every other stream on Twitch, at least that I know of. It always sounds lower. So I was trying to make it sound like the others. I only up the volume on the camera and not on the game. So if the camera is indeed louder, I will need to raise the game volume too. Oh.
Who's that?
No, wrong button. Oh no. This is me checking the sound, maybe. Let's pretend it is. Should I up it? I assume the balance is not okay. Oh. Oh well. I guess he was afraid. Oh shit, I forgot about this. I had to be crouched. Another Terminator death. Just like when we quit last night. No comments on the game volume? I assume I can proceed. Ah, really? Getting back into the groove. I can't make it out on the wall. So what I actually had to do not to die here. So how is everyone doing today? Hey, alert phase coming.
Is there somebody there?
Nope, maybe.
Is there somebody there?
Seriously? I am screwing this up way too much. There. Why was that camera not on the radar? Damn it. I can't even. Okay. This was so bad it actually hurt myself. Myself, not just the character. I am physically hurt by how bad I performed here. I am kind of worried about the game volume still. I feel like I should be raising the volume a little more. Didn't I have anything to do back here? C4, exactly. Good, good. Now we can proceed. We don't have that much long to go today. There are a few lengthy codec calls, which make the game a lot longer, but otherwise, there's not a lot to play. Might need to come up with a finishing game for today's stream. We'll see how fast I do all of this. It's a shame this game will never be remastered. Hey. Weren't there 4 of them? What the fuck? I always remember there being 4. Jeez, Snake, that was not what I wanted to do at all. Sometimes it's so hard to get back into the groove with some games, especially when you change what you're actually playing. There are no mines here on this remake. That is so weird. Why would they take that out? Oh well. Let's go there. Here, if you actually punch the ravens or shoot them or whatever, you get a funny conversation. Not right away.
Snake, I've got something to tell you about Naomi Hunter.
What about her?
Is this conversation secure?
Don't worry, the monitor's off.
Okay.
What's up?
I was in the FBI too, you know.
I didn't know that. What's your point?
You didn't miss much. This is what's important.
Being an assistant secretary to Hoover in the FBI,
Yeah,
and then going undercover to investigate the mafia in New York.
yeah, what about it?
It was all a big lie.
What did you say?
It was really bothering me. Why would she lie about it?
She lied?
She might be a spy.
Ridiculous.
Come on, even a high school student could see past it. Didn't Naomi say that her father was Japanese?
Yeah.
At the time when Edgar Hoover was head of the FBI, there wasn't a single Asian investigator. Also, in the 50s, the undercover mafia sting operations hadn't even started yet. They first started in 1960, in Chicago, not New York.
But
You better check it out. The chief and the president mysteriously dying. That ninja. Too many strange things are happening.
are you saying that Naomi might be behind it?
I don't know. Either that, or she's working with the terrorists.
Could it be?
If I find out anything, I'll call. In the meantime, be careful.
I'm going to raise it now. I didn't want to fiddle with the game during the cutscene because there's always a break and you would lose a bit of the conversation. So, would you rather have me lower the webcam or raise the game? The webcam is now leveled with other streams, I think. Tell me. I need the opinion here, 'cause, this is all complicated. Raise the game. Okay. It will go to shit. Just so you're warned. So, is the game too loud now? I think I did something wrong, and I must have made something. Probably the notifications. Can hear the birds now. Just need your voice for comparison. There's the voice. Let me do a random conversation on codec, just so we can test it out.
What the hell are all these crows doing around here?
Crows? You got me. There were crows around from before. But for some reason they started to increase in number about the same time that Foxhound came to the base. It's really weird. I wonder what it could mean.
There. I guess we had the same idea to use the codec.
Good. You found the SOCOM. That's a Special Operations Command pistol. It's a .45 caliber pistol with plenty of stopping power.
Volumes are good? Cool.
It's also equipped with a LAM for nighttime combat. If you find
at least now the camera is at
you can equip that too.
100%, and the game is at 60. The game used to be at 30%.
Some people find it a little heavy and hard to use, but it shouldn't be a problem for you.
And what people used to complain about every time they come in was that the actual volume, if you're listening to like 2 streams, or if you're doing like Skype notifications or something else, then you have to raise your volume too much to be able to listen to the stream and my voice properly. Holy shit, I am getting way too cold here. Don't think that's a problem, I might just get a cold. So I wanted to have a proper balance with the other stuff on Twitch, so people don't have to like get a jump scare every time something else in their lives happened just because they were listening to my stream. This is complicated stuff. Yeah, the colds are legendary.
What's that? Welcome, Cossack. This is the end of the road for you, right, my friends? They're becoming excited. Ravens aren't scavengers like most people think. They're simply returning to the natural world that which is no longer needed. Sometimes they even attack wounded foxes.
You were the one in the M1 tank? Must have been a tight fit for a big boy like you.
But that was no true battle. The Ravens and I were testing to see what kind of man you were. The judgment is decided. The Ravens say you are a true warrior.
Trust me, you will like his death monologue a lot.
Am I hallucinating? I can't move.
The Raven has put the mark of death upon you. Blood from the east flows within your veins. Ah, your ancestors too were raised on the barren plains of Mongolia. Inuit and Japanese are cousins to each other. We share many ancestors, you and I.
There's no crows in my family tree.
You ready? I am not fond of snakes, but you are family, so I cannot complain. But there will be no holding back. You live in Alaska, too. You know of the World Eskimo Indian Olympics.
With that strength, you must have been training in the stick pull and four-man carry.
Yes, you are right. But there is another event that I excel at. It is called the ear pull. It's an event where two opponents pull each other's ears while enduring the harsh cold. It tests spiritual as well as physical strength.
You want to pull each other's ears?
The form is different, but the spirit is the same. Rejoice, Snake! Ours will be a glorious battle.
This isn't glorious. It's just plain killing. Violence isn't a sport.
Well, we will see if there is iron in your words.
This is new too. It just is the boss in this house. Just start fighting. This never happens. I'm guessing they did this because so many people ended up using Stingo's arm all the way. That is a very long missile. Yes, you could easily lose yours that way. And the cold's pulling them. Not a good idea. In the cutscenes, my webcam volume is lower than the game. I'll change it later, after the fight. If it's okay for the fight, I'll change it after. And I'll stay silent during the monologue anyway. Oh shit. This is what I said was messed up at this fight, that you normally can't do this. Well, let's use the regular strategy. I wanted to use a stinger, not a stinger. Well, it works. It's difficult to hear you. I think it might have been the music that made it louder. Okay, I'm going to lower the the game. It's at 55% now instead of 60. Let's see if it's any better. Hopefully. Better? Right. I was saying that the new control scheme actually kind of breaks this. Not really, because I'm still using the Stinger missiles. Easiest? No, it's not the easiest. I say that everyone is easy except for the machines. And it's true. Even the Hind was really easy this time. Metal Gear won't be, I'm certainly sure of that.
Just as the boss said, it is my existence which is no longer needed in this world. But my body will not remain in this place. My spirit and my flesh will become one with the ravens. In that way, I will return to Mother Earth who bore me. Snake! I will be watching you. Understand? Snake, take this security card. It will open that door.
Why?
You are a snake, which was not created by nature. You and the boss, you are from another world. A world that I do not wish to know. Go and do battle with him. I will be watching from above. First, I'll give you a hint. The man you saw die before your eyes. That was not the DARPA chief. It was Decoy Octopus, a member of Foxhound. He was a master of disguise. He copied his subjects down to the blood. So he drained the chief's blood and took it into himself. But he wasn't able to deceive the Angel of Death.
The Angel of Death? But why go to so much trouble? Why impersonate the chief?
That is the end of my hint. You must solve the rest of the riddle yourself. Snake. In the natural world, there is no such thing as boundless slaughter. There is always an end to it, but you are different.
What are you trying to say?
The path you walk on has no end. No matter how far you go, or how many corpses you crawl over, the killing will never end. It's a future without hope. Hear me, Snake. My spirit will be watching you.
It's metal. They didn't eat the metal. Believe it or not, this is the lines are not exactly the same. The him being eaten is exactly what happens in the original as well.
Snake, it's me.
Master?
It's about Naomi. Turn your monitor off.
What about Naomi?
Damn.
Colonel, is Naomi there?
No, she's away. She's taking a short nap. So what is this about Naomi?
Okay, maybe we'd better let the Colonel hear this too.
Yeah. Go on, Master.
Well, basically, Dr. Naomi Hunter is not Dr. Naomi Hunter at all.
What?
I thought her story of her background sounded kind of fishy, so I checked it out.
And?
There is an actual Dr. Naomi Hunter, or I should say, there was one. But she's not the woman we know. The real Naomi Hunter disappeared somewhere in the Middle East. Our Naomi must have somehow obtained her identification papers.
So then who is she really?
She must be some kind of spy.
A spy?
Yes. Maybe she's been sent to sabotage this operation.
Are you saying she's with the terrorists?
I don't want to believe it either, but she is working for Foxhound.
So, you think she had a part in the uprising?
Or she could be working with some different group altogether.
A different group? It couldn't be.
Place her under arrest, Colonel.
What?
She's betrayed us, Colonel. She needs to be arrested and interrogated to find out who she's with.
If she's one of their spies, then we're in big trouble.
What do you mean?
Oh, nothing.
Colonel, have you let her in on some kind of vital secret or something? Does this have anything to do with the mysterious deaths of the DARPA chief and the Arms Tech president?
I have no idea.
Anyway, we cannot allow her to participate any further in this mission.
Wait a minute. Without her, we can't complete this mission.
I knew it. You're hiding something.
Give me some time. I'll try to get it out of her.
Hurry then. We've got to figure out who she is and what she's doing here.
I understand. Snake, give me some time.
I don't have any time left for you.
Like I said, we may not have long to go, but we have a lot of good conversations ahead of us. I never minded. I hope you don't mind as well, because I love the story so much. So they're just developing characters and adding conspiracy and plot twist on top of conspiracy and plot twist. So everything is good, I'd say. Having the crows eating my life was hardcore. Yeah, that is true. The plot is kind of confusing. When you just got back, we heard the suspicions. I don't know if you still could listen to that or not. I hope you did. Oh, really? Where did the cameras here go? Well, like tons of cameras here. But if you want to... Is the dude with the glasses Kazuhiro Miller? Yes, yes he is.
Send a replacement guard for the area.
Donald Miller, also known as Kazuhiro Miller.
We have a man down. Increase to maximum security. Send a replacement guard for the area.
Cannot spare any backup at the moment. Go after the target without additional assistance.
I killed everyone. Weren't you here when he introduced himself? I think you were. When we first crawled through the vents. He's Snake's master. He taught him everything. One of his masters. Like he told Meryl, he was raised by many people. Among them, Big Boss and Master Miller. But if you have any questions, you can just ask. I won't answer them if they haven't been answered yet. Yeah, Master. It's just called Master. Yeah.
Snake, I'm sure that woman calling herself Naomi is some type of spy. And now I'm starting to think that Campbell might be hiding something too. Don't trust him.
He gives you like advice on how to survive and how to keep yourself alive. Which are one and the same thing. So here we are. Face to face. It was after the whole thing with the snowfield. I was in a snowfield and there was a truck and I was getting caught a bunch of times, which was when I was just starting the game. After coming up the elevator from the first area, before entering the actual base. When you actually crawl into the ventilation shaft, that's when he
Snake,
calls you first
me.
and introduces himself.
What's wrong? Did you find a good place to hide?
Yeah, thanks to the stealth gear. It looks like they've finished getting Metal Gear ready.
How do you know that?
I overheard them talking. Where are you now?
Right in front of Metal Gear. But it's strange.
What is?
There's nobody here. No guards, no mechanics. It's too quiet.
Maybe because they're all ready. They said they even input the PAL codes.
What should I do?
All we can do is use the override system that President Baker told you about.
But I've only got one of the 3 keys. And besides that, like Ocelot said, there's some trick to using the keys.
Leave it to me.
You got some kind of plan?
Well, I'm in the computer room right now. I'm trying to access Baker's private files.
Baker's files? Don't you need a password?
Of course. But there are ways.
Are you a hacker?
Yep, that describes me pretty well.
Does it look like you can get in?
I don't know yet. I'll give it a try.
I'm counting on you.
So, Naomi Hunter isn't Naomi Hunter, but it's not Foxhound because they probably would have used Decoy Octopus for that mission. They can only use him once. So they have the Metal Gear, but not the password to arm the nuclear warhead. They disguised Decoy Octopus as Anderson to make it seem like Anderson was alive, and to trick Snake, and maybe the Colonel, into believing that the password was given to them. And what would that achieve? Just to make them believe they can launch, and there is a clear danger. Maybe the Colonel has a way to arm the nuclear warhead without the passwords of Baker and Anderson. Oh no.
Is there somebody
There's
there?
no one here.
Snake, it's me again.
How's it going?
Not bad. I just got past his 3rd security level. He was a pretty careful guy.
Do you think you'll break in soon?
I've never met a system I couldn't bust into.
Okay, keep trying.
So the passwords are not the only thing. That's what we are trying to figure out right now, how to use the keycard that Baker gave Meryl, that we have right now.
Snake, I did it.
You got past security?
Bingo.
Great. So what do you got?
I accessed the confidential Metal Gear file.
So what about the PAL override system that Baker talked about?
Haven't found it yet.
That's what I need to know.
But Snake, I found something else.
What?
The secret behind the new nuclear weapon. Just as I thought, the nuclear warhead is designed to be fired from the railgun like a projectile. It doesn't use fuel, so it isn't considered a missile. That way it can get around all sorts of international treaties.
Pretty sneaky.
Yes, but effective. And that's not even the scariest thing about this weapon.
I can't wait to hear this.
It's a stealth weapon.
You mean it won't show up on radar?
Yeah. The truth is, they've been working on a stealth missile since the late 70s.
Why weren't they able to develop one up until now?
Because of the missile's rocket propulsion system. It would be picked up by enemy satellites.
Because of that?
But unlike a missile, the railgun doesn't burn any propellant. so it can't be detected by any current ballistic missile detection systems.
An invisible nuclear warhead.
Totally impossible to intercept. And on top of that, it's got a surface-piercing warhead designed to penetrate hardened underground bases.
We learned that lesson in the Gulf War.
This thing could mean the end of the world.
It's the ultimate weapon. And from a political point of view, it avoids the problem of nuclear reduction and nuclear inspections. Colonel, is this true? Are you listening?
I'm listening.
It would push back the signing of the START 3 treaty. If word gets out about this weapon, it'd cause a whole world of trouble.
Yeah, it would be nasty. The United States would be denounced by the UN. It could even bring the president down.
Did you know this, Colonel?
I'm sorry.
You've changed, Colonel.
I won't make any excuses.
Snake, listen to me. This new nuclear weapon, it's never actually been tested. Only simulated.
You mean with VR experiments?
Yeah, that's why they were conducting this exercise. They needed to get actual experimental data to back up the simulation.
What were the results of the exercise?
It looks like it went better than they hoped for, but I can't find the data anywhere on this network. You'd think that data as important as that would be carefully recorded.
It was. President Baker gave me an optical disc with all of the test data.
What? Do you still have it?
No. Ocelot took it from me.
Damn. The terrorists have replaced the dummy warhead with a real warhead. Once they input the detonation codes, they should be ready to launch.
So, you think they can do it?
Well, the dummy warhead was designed to be identical to the real thing, so I think so.
Did you find out how to override it yet?
Not yet. It must be in a separate file. Right now I'm looking through all of Baker's personal files.
We're counting on you.
Huh?
Who's there?
I really don't know what was the objective of arming the Metal Gear with the nuclear warhead anyway. What's Foxhound's ultimate objective? The objective of arming Metal Gear is having a genuine threat with which to... Yeah, the Colonel is a steaming pile of dung, it's true. The warhead on Metal Gear is just the threat. What they're trying to do here is get the Big Boss's remains. That's all they asked for. They want to get Big Boss's body and do things with it.
Snake.
Did you find it?
No, I haven't found out about the override system yet, but I found Baker's ulterior motive.
He's just looking to get rich, isn't he?
That's part of it. ArmsTech is in much worse financial trouble than I thought.
I know they lost their bid to make the next generation fighter jet. That, plus the reduction in SDI spending.
It looks like there was even some talk of a hostile takeover.
Everything was riding on this project, I guess.
And it looks like they were paying a lot of bribe money to the DARPA chief.
Bribe money, huh?
Yeah. And Baker was a big proponent of the nuclear deterrent theory.
I see. So anyway, what about the override?
Just give me a little bit longer.
Okay guys, let's get on Metal Gear and get out of here. Well, it would be a good idea.
Okay, I've entered the PAL codes and disengaged the safety device. We can launch anytime.
There's still no response from Washington. It looks like we'll have to show them
See,
that we
it's all about
mean
the
business.
Power struggle.
Should I set it for Cherniton, Russia?
No. There's been a change. The new target is Lopnor, China.
Why, boss? Liquid.
I'm sure neither you nor Mr. Golukovich would really like to see a nuclear bomb dropped on your motherland, right?
But why? There's nothing there.
Wrong. It's a nuclear test site.
A nuclear test site.
If we nuke a major population center, the game's over. But a nuclear explosion at a test site can still be concealed from the public. Meanwhile, Washington will be worried about the retaliatory strike from China.
That'll probably mean top-secret talks between both countries' leaders.
Of course. And in the process, the President will be forced to divulge the existence of a new and highly destabilizing nuclear weapon to the Chinese. What do you think that will do to the US's reputation? Or the President's?
And with the CTBT, that means that China and India... I see.
Yes. When the other countries hear about the new weapon, they'll all want to contact us. Washington won't be very happy when we start selling their own system to the highest bidders. Yes, the President will break. He will give in to our demands.
Big Boss's DNA and $1 billion.
$1 billion? All for money?
That money will be used to cure our genome soldiers as well. I'm also including the Fox-Die vaccine in our demands.
Fox-Die? It killed Octopus and the Arms Tech president. So it's true that it affects older people first. Mantis might not have been affected because he wore a mask.
Wolf wasn't infected either. Perhaps due to those tranquilizers she always took.
Something to do with amphetamine and adrenaline levels in the blood. They deployed a product still in development into live combat. No surprise it was unreliable. They must have been desperate.
In any case, have you heard from your friend Colonel Sergei Golukovich at Spetsnaz yet?
He still has doubts about the ability of Metal Gear. He said we can talk after Metal Gear's test launch is successful.
He's a very prudent man.
There's nothing to worry about. The Colonel wants Metal Gear and a new nuclear weapon so bad he can taste it. If Russia wants to regain its position as a military superpower, they need to reinforce their nuclear arsenal. They need a nuclear weapon that can't be intercepted. Metal Gear will allow them to gain first strike capability over the rest of the world.
Their regular army is in shambles, and they think they can restore their country's military power with nuclear weapons? That Golukovich, he's no warrior. He's a politician.
Maybe so, but he's the one who gave us the Hind and most of our other heavy firepower.
He's got over 1,000 soldiers under his command. If we joined forces, we could put up quite a resistance here. Since Mantis died, the genome soldiers' brainwashing has started to wear off. I'm worried about the men's morale. An alliance with the Russians would boost that as well.
What are you saying?
We're not going anywhere. We're going to dig in here. It's going to be a long war.
We could still escape.
We have the new nuclear power, and we're going to ally with Golukovich's forces.
Are you going to fight the whole world?
And what's wrong with that? Fighting the whole world? From here, we can launch a nuclear warhead at any target on this planet. A nuclear warhead invisible to radar and totally immune to interception. And on top of that, this base is full of spare nuclear warheads. Once we get the DNA and the money, the world will be ours.
Boss, what about your promise to Colonel Gulukovich?
I have no interest in the revival of Mother Russia.
You're not thinking of reviving Big Boss's dream.
From today, you can call this place Outer Heaven.
Big Boss's dream.
Boss, you're not worried about the PAL being overridden? If the code is entered again, it'll be deactivated.
No need to worry. The DARPA chief and the Arms Tech president are both dead.
Does Snake know how the override system works?
You interrogated him, don't you know?
He didn't have any keys on him.
Good. Then no one can stop Metal Gear now.
By the way, what should we do with that woman? Want me to kill her?
Let her live. She's Campbell's niece, and Snake cares for her. We'll keep her as our ace in the hole.
Meryl, she's alive.
Shonen, I gotta say, you are a smart dude.
Snake, I found Baker's top secret files.
Great job.
How's it going there?
They've finished inputting the PAL codes. So, how do we deactivate them?
Okay, you see, the override system that the President was talking about, it can also be used to input the detonation codes. You see, if you insert the keys when the warhead is active, you deactivate it. And if you insert them when it's inactive, it becomes activated. And you can only use the keys once.
Only once, huh?
You need the keys for input. 3 of them.
But I only have the one. Where are the others?
Hold on a minute. You see, that's the trick. You already have all 3 keys.
What are you talking about?
The card key is made of a shape memory alloy.
Shape memory alloy?
Yes. It's a material that changes shape at different temperatures. The key is made out of it.
This card key?
Yeah. The card key changes shape at different temperatures.
So this key is actually 3 keys in one. Clever.
Can you see the input terminals in the center of the control room?
I see them.
Hey Rusty. How are you doing?
Those 3 laptop terminals are for the emergency input. There should be a symbol on each screen. Each symbol corresponds to a different key. You input the keys in order from left to right. The left one's for the room temperature key. See the symbol? Next to that goes the low temperature key. The one on the right is the high temperature key.
Okay, I got it. First I change the shape of the card, and then I input them in order, right?
That's right. All you do is insert the card keys. After you insert the key into the module, a hard disk reads the information contained on it. Once you've finished with all 3 terminals, the code input process is complete. But here's the thing. You can only use the key 3 times. It's an emergency system, and it's only meant to be used once.
The world is riding on that key, Snake. Who's that?
This is bulletproof glass. There's no way in. I'll enjoy watching you die.
Snake, you've got to get that key.
Okay. So, I guess I have a lot to address. Fox dies, some sort of virus. Naomi injected you with nanomachines for the mission with your consent. You might say that... fuck, what am I doing? You might say that you don't know what was in the nanomachines, but you let her do it. Time bomb? Shit. Holy shit, just died. That question about why not everyone died is important. For fuck's sake. Why did I not drop down as soon as I could? So how are you doing, Rusty? I am... This is what I consider the most boring part of the game. Naomi wanted Anderson and Baker to die, so they used nanomachines to kill the two. You're playing The Walking Dead, Rusty? So, the key was not in the drainage ditch, which means it was picked up by a rat. Holy fuck. So now I have to start killing rats for the key. Oh, of course it was picked up by a rat. That is the first conclusion somebody goes to if you couldn't find it in a drainage ditch. I guess. Hey, I got it from the first one. Wait. Oh. I actually was so fast dropping down on my playthrough of Metal Gear Solid 1 that I managed to get it without a rat getting to it. I was very proud of myself.
found the card key, right? First...
Damn it. Oh well. That's another death for the death counter. Let's see if by inputting the card this goes away. Of course not. Oh well. My bad. If you get locked in there, it's game over. Hey, at least I don't start that far away. This camera is not like the main game. I used to be able to sneak past it. Fuck. It's not the second death. It's actually the fourth one. No, I got... what killed me last night? Oh no, I can't have the rations equipped, otherwise this will never end.
Snake, are you okay? Snake! Snake!
Now for reals. God damn it. Is it that hard? It wasn't. No. I know I fell into a trap last night, and then I died twice on the blast furnace today. And now 2 other times on the
number 1 confirmed.
damn gas chamber.
Okay, that takes care of PAL code number 1. Now, PAL number 2, freeze the key.
So now there is a lot of back and forth to change the key using the room temperature, the shape memory alloy thing. The main point is this gives the game more time to flesh out some stuff. There will be a lot of codec calls. Stuff will happen. Not here. Wait, so these soldiers are all genetically modified because of it? There's something wrong with them, and if they were given access Big Boss's remains, they would somehow cure it. Yes, that's exactly it. They were kind of created with Big Boss's fake DNA, and they actually need his real DNA to finish the job. That's all I can say for now. Dude. Goodbye, Mamoru. They don't want to give Big Boss his DNA because he was the greatest soldier ever.
Is there somebody there? Who is that?
We are like one step from cloning people, so they could potentially create an army of big bosses. They're not one step from. This is almost a cloning process, the Genome Soldiers thing.
Enemy.
So we can legit clone people now. How has the US not made an army of big bosses? Maybe they did. I didn't even check, but I assume, yeah, it's already blue. I can't have it equipped to check if it's still blue, because having it equipped means you're having it in your hand, which would raise the temperature faster and would change it back to room temperature instead of keeping it cold. Oh, stupid. Why would they use the son of the greatest soldier when they could use the greatest soldier? Wait. Things will be answered in time. Those questions will be addressed.
PAL code number 2 confirmed.
All your questions will be addressed.
Awaiting PAL code number 3.
Okay, there goes PAL code number 2.
Ah,
Next
yes,
comes
Monk
PAL
followed
number
me.
3.
While I was offline, I
Warranty.
couldn't even thank him. I guess I also followed him while he was offline. Need SOCOM bullets. I'm like, oh, okay. Halfway down. I never visited this side of the hangar. I assume there's nothing here really. A bandage. Bandages are the most useless item introduced in Metal Gear Solid 2. Yes, there is plenty of time really to go up there with the card, even if you have the card in hand. These guys are still are alive again. Not still alive, alive again. Okay, let's go back up. Now we need to warm the key, which means we are going to the blast furnace. With the birds poop, really.
Snake, it's about Naomi Hunter.
Then you should talk to the Colonel. He's looking into it.
Turn your monitor off.
Okay, it's off. No one else can hear us. Go ahead.
Sorry, but I didn't want the Colonel to hear.
Okay, so what's up?
I've got a good friend in the Pentagon.
Yeah?
He's the one who told me about it. It looks like the DIA recently developed a new type of assassination weapon.
An assassination weapon?
Snake, have you ever heard of something called Fox Dye?
No. Fox Dye? Liquid and the others were talking about it.
Yeah. It's some kind of virus that targets specific people. I don't know all the details, but...
What are you trying to say?
It's too similar.
What is?
The cause of death. Didn't the Arms Tech president and the DARPA chief, Decoy Octopus, die of something that looked like a heart attack?
Yeah.
Well, apparently Fox Dye kills its victims by simulating a heart attack.
No. You're telling me that Naomi was behind it?
Snake, try to remember. Did Naomi give you some kind of injection?
The nanomachines.
She was in the best position to have done it, but I don't know what her motive was.
Does the Colonel know?
I'm not sure, but he still hasn't questioned her.
Okay, I'll ask him myself. Colonel, what's new with the Naomi situation?
I just placed Naomi under arrest.
Arrest?
She was sending coded messages toward the Alaskan base. I didn't want to believe it, but she must be working with the terrorists.
Are you sure?
I'm afraid so. She's being interrogated now.
What kind of interrogation?
Well, I'd like to avoid the rough stuff, but we don't even have any sodium pentothal here.
Call me if you find out anything.
So, it's true, isn't it?
Naomi, I can't believe it.
That means the Fox Dye vaccine must be around somewhere.
Is that all you think about?
But Snake, you might be infected too, you know.
All I can do is leave it up to the Colonel.
There are some answers there. Wish I knew what you two were talking about. I like that the game is complicated because too many games have that plot from the action movies where like the game pretends to have, where you come into a place to rescue some hostages, you kill some bosses, at the end you save the world and everyone goes home happy. That's not Metal Gear Solid at all. Metal Gear Solid has conspiracy theories, betrayals, plot twist after plot twist after plot twist, and I love that. I love that the game does not assume you're stupid. The game throws you clues, as you've seen. Shonen has picked up on a lot of the clues, and the games only keep adding more clues and more plots, and everything comes together on Metal Gear Solid 4, which is a great game that no one should ever play without playing all the other ones, because it's a game made for people who know what the story is about. That game is really something else. I have never played something that was so well put together. I really love Metal Gear, I really do. Colonel was part of the freak deaths of Anderson and Baker. He was surprised. Why is this so complicated? Yeah. So the Foxdie virus uses nanomachines to target
somebody
people.
there?
Kinda, yeah. Oh, no, I don't need to come this way. Clearly they weren't trying to assassinate Decoy Octopus. No, but he copied, he did transfer Anderson's blood to himself when he copied him. Yeah, so the Decoy Octopus's death was an accident. They were trying to kill the DARPA chief, but he was already dead. Where it is? Number 7. Does this one have any mines? No. Right. It's just stinger bullets, really? I came back here for this. Stinger bullets. It's not stinger missiles. It's bullets. Yeah, it's kind of like Ocelot and Liquid we're talking about. It is an experimental thing, so it's bound to fail. Shit. Okay, now I have to stay here for a little while to wait for the key to heat up. Especially because it's cold now. We're trying to kill him so they couldn't give the password. In a way, that could be one of the reasons, yeah. Can you play the old Resident Evil games next? I don't know. I've been feeling like playing them. I don't know if I would play them next. I'm sorry. I have bought a lot of games today, to be honest. I finally caved in and wasted a bunch of money on games that I never had for PlayStation 1 that were never released in Europe and that were available on the USPS store. Oh yes, I will definitely play them in the future. I plan to do... Oh yes, I'm not going to play... No. I can't play 1, 2, 3 and Veronica because I want to play Remake and 0, 2. And 4 and 5 and 6. I will do an actual marathon with all the Resident Evil games, but I still don't have 0. I don't have 0 HD, I have 0 for GameCube, but I want to play the HD, of course. I managed to get GameCube to work, but I'm playing this one because it's a game that will probably never ever be remastered. Don't play 5 and 6. I have never played 6 ever in my life, but I have it. But I like 5. It's not a good Resident Evil game, but it's a good game. It's a good action game. 6 sucks. I believe you. As you can see, I have the original 0 here. I played it, and it's a cool game. Wait, so they're trying to disarm the Metal Gear because supposedly they had harmed the Metal Gear, even though they don't have Anderson's password. Yes. And I have the remake. I'm showing you my Resident Evil collection. Resident Evil Code Veronica X. Gun Survivor Code Veronica. Dead Aim. Outbreak. Imagine if I played all of these. Outbreak, File 2. For GameCube and for PlayStation. We're arming the Metal Gear for them, aren't we? Yes, yes we are. You need to play Outbreak. This one I don't like because it's the Value series cover. And then I have Director's Cut. 2. You will see that some of the covers are different for PAL games. 3 Nemesis and Gun Survivor 1. Those are damn good and obviously underrated. Seriously underrated, okay. I haven't played Outbreak, I've heard of it. What's it about? It's Resident Evil Online. It's just random scenarios with the same characters. It's like Left 4 Dead, but it's Resident Evil. It's the best comparison I can give you. There is another one somewhere. This is the last one. Resident Evil Code Veronica for Dreamcast. That's my old school Resident Evil collection. The current generation games are not in this room. Let's see how the key is. It's red. Okay, let's go.
Is there somebody there?
So does Liquid have this weird telepathic link with Solid Snake, or did Liquid get it from his time with Psycho Mantis? They don't have any telepathic link at all. Why would he have a telepathic link? What makes you say that? Outbreak sounds fun. Yeah, it is a fun game. I don't feel like touching it though, because it's stuck on PlayStation 2. I can't play with anyone. Outbreak 1 in Europe is offline only, actually. So it kind of has some strange AI. The AI is very dumb, to be honest, and there's no story at all. It's just survivors escaping different situations in Raccoon City. It's exactly Left 4 Dead. Ah, no. You must have remembered it well, Liquid. just seemed to act weird when Solid Snake had appeared or was near. Oh yeah, he is weird. And he calls him brother. And he hasn't said why yet. He just told Snake to ask his father that he's obviously killed. If you remember when he was on the helicopter, he called him brother, and he said, "Why are you calling me brother?" He said, "Ask the father that you killed. I'll send you to hell to meet him." And that roll was really bad. I wanted to tackle the other dude. Go, Snake, go. Get to the key to Metal Gear.
Snake, can you hear me? It's Naomi.
Naomi? What the hell?
Campbell and the others are busy right now. I'm on a different codec.
Naomi, is what the Colonel says true?
Yes, but not everything I said was a lie.
Who are you?
I don't know anything. My parents' face is my name. The name and ID I have now I just bought. But the reason why I study genetics, that was...
'Cause you want to know yourself, right?
That's right. I want to know where I came from. My age, my race, anything.
Naomi.
I was found in Rhodesia sometime in the 80s. A dirty little orphan.
Rhodesia? What's now known as Zimbabwe?
Yes. Rhodesia was owned by England until 1965, and there were lots of Indian laborers around. That's probably where I got my skin color from, but I'm not even sure about that.
Naomi, you're too worried about the past. Isn't it enough to understand who you are now?
Understand who I am now? Why should I? No one else tries to understand me. I was alone for so long, until I met my big brother. And him.
Your big brother?
Yes. Frank Yeager.
What?
He was a young soldier when he picked me up near the Zambezi River. I was half dead from starvation, and he shared his rations with me. Yes. Frank Yeager. The man who you destroyed was my brother and my only family.
No. Gray Fox.
We survived that hell together, Frank and I. He protected me. He is everything to me. The only proof I have of my existence. Of my existence as an individual.
And he brought you back to America?
No. I was in Mozambique when he came.
Who's he? You mean Big Boss?
Yes. He brought us to this land of freedom. This America. But then he and my brother went back to continue the war. And that's when it happened. You killed my benefactor and sent my brother home a cripple. I vowed revenge and joined Foxhound. I knew it was my best chance to meet you, and I prayed for the day that I would.
So, were your prayers answered?
Yes. I waited 2 long years.
To kill me? Is that all you cared about?
Yes, that's right. 2 years. You were all I thought about for 2 long years. Like some kind of twisted obsession.
Do you still hate me?
Not exactly. I was partly wrong about you.
What about Liquid and the others?
I'll have my revenge on them too.
Naomi, you didn't kill that doctor too, did you? The one that used Gray Fox for his genome experiments.
Dr. Clark? No. That was my brother. Afterward, I covered it up and helped him hide out.
So that ninja, I mean Gray Fox, he's come here to kill me.
I don't think so. I think he just came here to fight you. I wasn't sure before, but now I think I understand. A final battle with you. That's all he lives for. I'm sure of it.
Fox. Naomi, tell me something.
About Foxdie? Foxdie is a type of retrovirus that targets and kills only specific people. First, it infects the macrophages in the victim's body. Foxdie contains smart enzymes, created through protein engineering. They're programmed to respond to specific genetic patterns in the cells.
Those enzymes recognize the target's DNA?
Right. They respond by becoming active and using the macrophages. They begin creating TNF-epsilon.
Huh?
It's a type of cytokine, a peptide which causes cells to die. The TNF-epsilon is carried along the bloodstream to the heart, where they attach to the TNF receptors in the heart cells.
And then, they cause a heart attack.
The heart cells suffer a shock and undergo an extreme apoptosis. Then, the victim dies.
Apoptosis? You mean the heart cells commit suicide? Naomi.
What?
You must have programmed that thing to kill me too, right? Do I still have time? Naomi, I don't blame you for wanting me dead, but I can't go yet. I still have a job to do.
Listen, Snake. I'm not the one who made the decision to use Foxdie.
Huh? You weren't?
No. You were injected with Foxdie as a part of this operation. I just wanted to let you know that... No. That's not the whole truth.
Huh?
The real thing that I wanted to tell you was... Snake...
Hey! What are you doing?
Snake...
Naomi?
Snake, I can't allow Naomi to make any more unauthorized transmissions.
What?
Naomi's been removed from this operation.
What happened to Naomi? What did she mean when she said that Foxdie was a part of this operation? Colonel, let me talk to her.
I won't. She's under arrest.
Colonel, you double-crossed me.
Snake, there's no time for that. Right now, your job is to stop Metal Gear. Okay, Snake?
Yes, he uses a lot of medical terminology sometimes. And yes, she just randomly picked the identity. She has been Naomi Hunter for many, many years. It's not like Decoy Octopus, who has just assumed a new identity and who changes identity constantly. She is a fake Naomi Hunter, but she has been ever since Grey Fox found her. Big Boss was a true player. Maybe.
PAL code number 3 confirmed.
Why are you saying Snake can't die? He's not the main character in a lot of the games in the series.
Activated. Ready for launch.
No! Why? I deactivated it.
He didn't. He didn't deactivate it.
Thank you, Snake. Now the detonation code is completed. Nothing can stop Metal Gear now.
Master, what's going on?
You found the key, and even activated the warhead for us too. I really must express my gratitude. Sorry to have involved you in that silly shape memory alloy business.
What are you talking about?
We weren't able to learn the DARPA chief's code. Even with Mantis' psychic powers, he couldn't read his mind. Then Ocelot accidentally killed him during the interrogation. In other words, we weren't able to launch the nuclear device and we were all getting a little worried. Without the threat of a nuclear strike, our demands would never be met.
What do you mean?
Without the detonation codes, we had to find some other way. That's when I decided you might prove useful, Snake.
What?
Well, for starters, I had Decoy Octopus disguise himself as the DARPA chief. We thought we'd get the info from you, but there was Fox-Die.
You mean you had this plan from the beginning? Just to get me to input the detonation code?
You didn't think you made it this far by yourself, did you?
Who the hell are you?
In any case, the launch preparations are complete. Once the world glimpses the power of this weapon, the White House will have no choice but to surrender the Fox-Die vaccine to me. Their ace in the hole is useless now.
Ace in the hole?
The Pentagon's plan to use you was already successful in the torture room. Snake, you're the only one who doesn't know. Poor fool.
Who are you anyway?
I'll tell you everything you want to know. If you come to where I am, that is.
Where are you?
Very close by.
Snake, that's not Master Miller.
Campbell, you're too late.
Master Miller's body was just discovered at his home. He's been dead for at least 3 days. I didn't know because my codec link with Master was cut off. But Mei Ling said his transmission signal was coming from inside the base.
So who is it?
Snake, you've been talking to...
Me, dear brother.
Liquid! How the...
You've served your purpose. You may die now.
Twists and turns, twists and turns. And now we get locked here and die again.
Snake, that's bulletproof glass. You can't break it with an ordinary weapon.
Can't you open the security lock here?
I'll try. Just hold on for a minute.
But Master Miller was part of Foxhound, I think.
I hacked into security. Snake, I'm opening the door.
Good.
Liquid!
Snake, did you like my sunglasses? Oh, you'd point a weapon at your own brother?
Why did you disguise yourself as Master?
So I could manipulate you more easily. You performed quite well, I must say. Although the boys at the Pentagon are probably saying the same thing.
What the hell are you talking about?
Following orders blindly with no questions asked, you've lost your warrior's pride and become nothing more than a pawn, Snake.
What?
Stopping the nuclear launch, rescuing the hostages, it was all just a diversion.
A diversion?
The Pentagon only needed you to come into contact with us. That's what killed the ArmsTech president and Decoy Octopus.
You don't mean...
That's right. You were sent here to kill us, so they could retrieve Metal Gear undamaged along with bodies of the Genome soldiers. From the beginning, the Pentagon was just using you as a vector to spread Fox-Die.
Fox-Die? It can't be. Are you telling me Naomi was working with the Pentagon?
They thought she was, but it seems that Dr. Naomi Hunter couldn't be controlled so easily.
What?
We've got a spy working in the Pentagon. He reported that Dr. Hunter altered Fox-Die's program just before the operation, but no one knows how or why.
I wonder, maybe they arrested her so they could find out the answer to that.
No doubt. But I had no idea she was motivated by such petty revenge. We still don't know what changes she made to Fox-Die's program. Oh well, doesn't matter. I've already added the Fox-Die vaccine to my list of White House demands.
There's a vaccine?
There must be, but that woman is the only one who really knows. Anyway, it might prove to be unnecessary.
Yeah? Why's that?
You were successful in coming into contact with all of us, so we must have all been exposed to the virus. It's true that the Armstech president and Decoy Octopus were killed by Fox-Die. But Ocelot, myself, and you, the carrier, were apparently unaffected.
A bug in the virus's programming?
Could be. In any case, if it doesn't kill you, then I'm not worried either. After all, our genetic code is identical.
So it's true. You and I are...
Yes, twins. But we're not ordinary twins. We're twins linked by cursed genes. Les enfants terribles. You're fine. You got all of the old man's dominant genes. I got all the flawed, recessive genes. Everything was done so that you would be the greatest of his children. The only reason I exist is so they could create you.
So you're saying I'm the dominant one?
That's right. I'm just the leftovers of what they used to make you. Can you understand what it's like to know that you're garbage since the day you were born? But I'm the one Father chose.
So that's why you're so obsessed with Big Boss. Some warped kind of love.
Ha! Love? It's hate. His choosing me, knowingly, to be the inferior one? For this, I want revenge. You don't even understand this. You, who could kill your own real father. You stole my chance for revenge. Now I'll finish the work that Father began. I will surpass him. I will destroy him!
You're just like Naomi.
Well, I'm not like you. Unlike you, I'm proud of the destiny that is encoded into my very genes. You missed your last chance. You'll regret that forever.
Snake! Come! Kneel down and sacrifice yourself to this historic weapon! Consider it an honor! A gift from your brother!
Now!
You shall bear witness to the demon weapon that will drag the world
into the 21st century!
Here we go. This is the big one. Yes, they're kind of twins. It's very... As if the title of the game didn't give that away. They are... Well, in the original game he never tried to shoot him. So... I guess he was just being respectful because he was talking. I don't know. But yeah, he could have stopped him from getting inside Metal Gear. But yeah, the Colonel trusted Miller because Miller was a part of Foxhound, just like Snake and the Colonel and Naomi are, and Mei Ling as well. I think the only one who is an outside consultant in this mission is Nastasha. The extra accent. He's in California Circuit, but he has a stupid fake English accent. I like his voice. I like it. I like the delivery better on the first game, like I said many times. Yeah, I still like the voice. And yes, now you see why Liquid has that inferiority complex we commented on before. He was always told by Big Boss that he was the shitty one. And yes, Les Enfants Terribles is what Greg is always going on about. Do it. Why does it not work? I swear, the controls in this game are way worse than they were in the original. I want to target the radar. Hard to win like this. Why the fuck am I trying to target something? Oh. No wonder there's no Metal Gear movie. The plot would be impossible to condense in just 2 hours. Yeah. Please never do a Metal Gear movie. I will pay for them not to do it. Target the radar, for fuck's sake! What the fuck is wrong with this? You see, in the main game, you can only target the radar, not the other parts, which have no area to fight. They're invulnerable.
Did that do it?
Damn!
Nice try, Snake!
Hurry! Get away! Gray Fox!
A name from long ago. It sounds better than Deep Throat.
So it is you.
You look terrible, Snake. You haven't aged well.
I'll send you back to hell!
Fox, why? What do you want from me?
I'm a prisoner of death. Only you can free me.
Fox, stay out of this. What about Naomi? She's hell-bent on taking revenge for you.
Naomi?
You're the only one who can stop her.
No, I can't.
Why?
Because I'm the one who killed her parents. I was young then, and couldn't bring myself to kill her too. Oh, I felt so bad that I decided to take her with me. I raised her like she was my own blood, to soothe my guilty conscience. Even now, she thinks of me as her brother.
Fox.
Outwardly, we may have seemed like contented brother and sister, but every time I looked into her eyes, I trembled with fear. Tell her for me. Tell her that I was the one who did it.
There you are!
We're just about out of time. Here's a final present from Deep Throat. I'll stop it from moving.
Fox! In the Middle East, we don't hunt foxes, we hunt jackals. Instead of foxhounds, we use Royal Harriers.
Fox!
How strong is that exoskeleton of yours? Snake, are you just going to sit by and watch him die?
Is more dangerous than a jackal!
He destroyed the radome.
Impressive! You are indeed worthy of the codename Fox, but now you're finished!
Now, fire the stinger!
Fox! Can you really shoot? You'll kill him too!
Now, in front of you, I can finally die. After Zanzibar land, I was taken from the battle, neither truly alive, nor truly dead. An undying shadow in a world of light. But soon it will finally end.
Even if I try, I can't shoot.
Die! Fox!
Snake! We're not tools of the government or anyone else. Fighting was the only thing I was good at. But at least, I always fought for what I believed in. Snake! Farewell. Fox!
Foolish man! When death is entreated, the battle is decided. You see, you can't protect anyone. Not even yourself.
Snake hates blades in general. He does comment some other time that he does not enjoy swords or other kinds of blades. But there is another character we play as who is very good with swords. Stupid facts that nobody would ever know, like how it turned independent in 1965. I guess she would know if she was from there, right? I know when my country turned independent. Yes, Deep Throat is Snake's greatest fan. And in his defense, in the original game, he does not bring the katana. So he only has the arm cannon, and that's all he uses. They just made this to try to be cooler. Like I said, this remake is better enjoyed after you have played or watched the main game, because it's an update, a graphical update, but everything else is worse. So you kind of see how that works, I guess. Yeah, the game is ridiculous, but I really like it. Stupid story is so confusing to me. I can explain Deep Throat is a real character in the franchise. Yes, it's Gray Fox, also known as Frankie. It's just the name he uses to contact you. Anyway, Rusty, I can explain whatever you want to know. I'm talking right now over the menu because after this fight there will be a very big cutscene. Yeah, he took it from Watergate. It's not something. It's not taken out of the real world context you use Deep Throat on. Yeah, there will be a very big cutscene. There is no explaining Metal Gear Solid to me. There is, believe me. It's easy to explain when you have a question. Or when you want to tell the story, it's easy because you can skip some things. If you're leaving the story and you're not understanding it fully, then it's because you don't have every element yet. And when you do, you have to still be able to put them together. It's like I said, the game assumes you're not stupid, so the game throws you a lot of information, a lot of stuff that you have to be able to put together. and really, it's not. I like to be treated as smarter than I am instead of dumber than I am. So I would rather have a plot that I don't fully understand, that I research and then get, than a plot that has nothing for me to ever try to understand, because it's so basic that there is nothing there, no juice. You squeeze it and nothing comes out. Whereas and this game is still so current. The theme, everything they talk about, is so many years later. Every aspect of the Metal Gear Solid universe and the Metal Gear Solid stories are still so active on today's political agenda, on today's medical agenda, the cloning, the arms race, everything, the nuclear power struggles. They just take it to a whole new level of craziness. But the actual politics in the game are very, very current still today. Where is Ocelot now? You will find out later. You won't actually find out where he is now, but you will find out what happens to him. So let's get on with this fight, but just be warned, there are a lot of cutscenes coming. Like, the game is known for the cutscenes and story being confusing, so there is a lot of stuff.
There you are!
Missile to the face. Wow, this fight is a lot easier now. Wow, I heal so fast.
Snake! I'll crush you into dust!
After the game ends, we can take some time and I will explain whatever questions you have. Just that I don't want to spoil anything that might still be coming up. But I will explain it to you fully. I will explain everything you want to have explained. And if you guys want to, hey, I love these games so much that I can always go back and play 2, 3, and 4 for you.
Sleeping late as
usual.
usual.
Take a quick break while we watch this.
Liquid, you're still alive.
I won't die, as long as you still live.
Too bad. It looks like your revolution was a failure.
Just because you've destroyed Metal Gear doesn't mean I'm done fighting.
Fighting? What are you really after?
The restoration of the era when warriors such as us lived as we should.
That was Big Boss's fantasy.
It was his dying wish. When he was young during the Cold War, the world needed men like us. We were valued then. We were desired. But things are different now. With all the liars and hypocrites running the world, war isn't what it used to be. We're losing our place in a world that no longer needs us. A world that now spurns our very existence. You should know that as well as I do. After I launch this weapon and get our $1 billion, we'll be able to bring chaos and honor back to this world gone soft. Conflict shall breed conflict, new hatreds will arise, and our own biosphere shall steadily expand.
But as long as there are people, there will always be war.
But the problem is balance. Father knew what type of a balance was best.
Is that the only reason?
Isn't that reason enough for warriors such as us?
I don't want that kind of world.
Ha! You lie! So why are you here then? Why do you continue to follow your orders while your superiors betray you? Why did you come here? Well, I'll tell you then. You enjoy all the killing, that's why.
What?
Are you denying it? Haven't you already killed most of my comrades?
That was...
I watched your face as you delivered the coup de grace. Oh, it reflected such vitality.
You're wrong.
There is a killer inside you. You don't have to deny it. We were created to be that way.
Created?
Les enfants terribles. The terrible children. That's what the project was called. It started in the 1970s. Their plan was to artificially create the most powerful soldier possible. The person that they chose as the model was a man known then as the greatest living soldier in the world.
Big Boss.
But Father was wounded in combat and already in a coma when they brought him in. So they created us from his cells, with a combination of 20th century analog cloning and the Super Baby method.
Super Baby method?
They fertilized an egg with one of Father's cells, and then let it divide into 8 clone babies. Then they transferred the clones to someone's uterus, and later intentionally aborted 6 of the fetuses to encourage strong fetal growth. You and I were originally octuplets.
Octuplets?
Yes. The other 6 of our brothers were sacrificed to make us. We were accomplices in murder before the day we were even born. So, it was you and I, 2 fertilized eggs with exactly the same DNA. But they weren't finished yet. They used me as a guinea pig to create a phenotype in which all of the dominant genes were expressed to create you. I got all the recessive genes. You took everything from me before I was even born. But you and I aren't his only children.
What?
The Genome Soldiers. They too are his progeny, carrying on his genetic legacy. But unlike us, they carry it digitally. With the completion of the Human Genome Project in the last century, the mysteries of humanity were laid bare. Thanks to Father's DNA, they were able to identify more than 60 soldier genes responsible for everything from strategic thinking to the proverbial killer instinct. Those soldier genes were transplanted, using gene therapy, into the members of the Next Generation Special Forces. That's how they became the Genome Soldiers. That's right. The Genome Soldiers that you've been killing right and left are our brothers with the same genes as ours.
The Genome Soldiers?
They are misshapen creatures, artificially produced from Father's genetic pattern. They are our blood brothers, and they were born of many an ultimate sacrifice.
Sacrifices?
Human experiments.
Huh?
1991, the Gulf War. The military secretly injected soldiers with the soldier genes. The Gulf War syndrome that hundreds of thousands of returning soldiers complained about was a side effect of it.
Ha! Everyone knows that the Gulf War syndrome was caused by exposure to pesticides and radiation from depleted uranium rounds.
That was just a cover story issued by the Pentagon. First, they tried to say it was post-traumatic stress disorder, then chemical or biological weapons. The poison gas detection units and the anti-sarin injections, they were all just to cover up the secret genetic experiments.
So then, the so-called Gulf War babies that have been reported by Gulf War veterans are...
Yes, they too are our brothers and sisters.
So the Genome Soldiers mean that the experiments were a success?
Success? Don't be a fool. They're a complete failure. We're on the verge of extinction.
What?
Have you ever heard of the asymmetry theory? Nature tends to favor asymmetry. Those species which have gone extinct all show signs of symmetry. The Genome Soldiers suffer from the same problem, signs of symmetry. So do I, as do you. That's right. We are all on the verge of death at the genetic level. We don't know when or what type of disease will occur. That's why we need the old man's genetic information.
You want Big Boss's DNA so you can save your family? It's very touching.
In nature, family members don't mate with each other, and yet they help each other to survive. Do you know why? Because it increases the chances that shared genes will be transmitted to future generations. Altruism among blood relatives is a response to natural selection. That we will help our blood relatives is inscribed in our very genes.
You're telling me that your genes are ordering you to save the Genome Soldiers?
You can't fight your genes. It's fate. All living things are born for the sole purpose of passing on their parents' genes. That's why I'll follow what my genes tell me. And then, I'm going to go beyond, in order to break the curse of my heritage. And to do that, first, I will kill you. Look behind you.
Meryl? Is she alive?
I'm not sure. She was alive a few hours ago. Poor girl kept calling your name.
Meryl?
Stupid woman. Falling in love with a man who doesn't even have a name?
I have a name.
No. We have no past, no future. If we did, our fate is nothing but what is determined in the genes we inherited from our father.
Let Meryl go.
As soon as we finished our business, we're almost out of time.
You're talking about Foxdie.
No. It seems now that the Pentagon knows that Metal Gear is destroyed. They've arrived at a decision. They won't even need a BDA. If you want the details, why don't you ask your precious Colonel Campbell?
Colonel, can you hear me?
Yes, I'm listening.
What is the Pentagon trying to do? Colonel, answer me!
The Secretary of Defense has taken over active control of this operation. He's on his way there by AWACS.
What for?
To bomb the place.
What?
Not only that, B-2 bombers just lifted off from Galena Air Force Base. They're carrying B-6113 surface-piercing tactical nuclear bombs.
What? Metal Gear is destroyed. Tell the Secretary of Defense.
The Secretary of Defense heard that Naomi double-crossed us, and he's worried about Foxdie. Now that there's no more danger of a nuclear strike from Metal Gear, he's going to do whatever's necessary to cover up the truth of what really happened here.
He's going to drop a nuclear bomb to vaporize all the evidence, along with anyone who knows anything.
Don't worry, Snake. I'll stop the nuclear strike.
How?
I may be only a figurehead here, but I'm still officially in command of this mission. If I issue an order to delay the strike, it'll confuse the chain of command and at least buy you some time. It'll give you a chance to escape.
But Colonel, if you do that...
It's okay, Snake. The truth is, Foxhound was already the subject of an undercover investigation. Merrill was transferred to this base just before the terrorist attack as a way of manipulating me.
Those bastards.
I'm sorry. They forced me to cooperate in exchange for her life. You'd better get out of there, Snake.
Are you sure? It'll be bad for you.
Don't worry. It's the least I can do for you after all the lies.
Colonel...
I'm ordering them to cancel the bombing run. After that, there's no turning back. Huh? What are you doing?
Snake!
Mei Ling, what happened to the Colonel?
I don't believe it!
What happened?
Snake, the Colonel!
Roy Campbell has been relieved of duty. This is the Secretary of Defense, Jim Hausman.
Put the Colonel back on.
He's been placed under arrest for leaking top-secret information and for the crime of high treason.
Ridiculous.
Yes, he is a ridiculous man. He truly believed that he was in command of this operation.
You bastard.
There won't be a speck of evidence left. I'm sure the President would want the same thing.
The President ordered this?
The President is a busy man. I have complete authority here.
How do you plan on explaining a nuclear attack on Alaska to the media?
Don't worry. We've prepared a convincing cover story. We'll simply say that the terrorists exploded a nuclear device.
Damn it! You'll be murdering everyone here. The scientists, the Genome Army, everyone.
Donald, the DARPA chief is already dead.
So you didn't mean to kill the DARPA chief after all.
He was my friend.
And you could care less about what happens to everybody else, huh?
Well, if you give me the optic disc, I might consider saving them.
What are you talking about?
Metal Gear's test data. Donald was supposed to bring it back.
I don't have it.
I see. Oh well, that's okay. You two are an embarrassment from the 1970s. Our country's dirty little secret. You can't be allowed to live. You're just the lingering ghosts of a system that is no more. Well, do try to get along in the time you have left before the bomb.
Shit.
Oh, there's no way out for us. Let's finish this before the airstrike. You stole everything from me. I shall nullify you and your genes, and I will take them all back. She'll make a beautiful sacrifice for our final battle. Do you see this? This will be the time limit for our final battle. When death comes for this girl, this nuclear module shall vanish from this world as well. If you win, you might still be able to save her. You could enjoy one brief moment of love before the end. And if you cross this line, you'll fall. At this height, it'll kill even you. Have at you, Snake!
This is it. Final boss. Let's see. What have I been missing? So yeah, they're not exactly the same physically. The face is exactly the same, but the hair looks different. Probably because one was used like for to get all the bad stuff out of the other. So they're not exactly the same. One has all the dominant genes, the good stuff, and the other one was like the garbage. That's why Liquid always feels inferior. And yes, he's kind of okay. He was kind of bloody as well, but he's fine. Anyway, dominant genes aren't better. I have no idea, but I'm just telling you why they're not exactly alike. Their face is the same, but they're not exactly the same thing. But yeah, they're clones of the same person, so they have to look alike at least. Oh, really? I'm missing all of these. I wanted to kick his ass, but it's not going so well. Oh, I got his knockdown.
Is that all you've got?
There's no reason to have this fluttering menu. So I have to find the right place to hit him. The beginning of the fight was a little rough. I think Liquid was the historian one. He was the one talking about all that stuff. Snake knew what he was talking about, but Liquid was the guy talking about the stuff previously. Don't stop falling off. I have limited time to kill you. There. Final boss is down. We still play a bit after the myriad of cutscenes coming. I'm sorry you dislike cutscenes so much, Rusty. This is how Metal Gear is.
Snake!
You love them in moderation. This is moderate compared to Metal Gear Solid 4. Very moderate. Metal Gear Solid 4 famously has 1 hour and a half of cutscenes in the end, after you last played.
Meryl. Meryl. Forgive me. Damn. I gave in to my fear. I gave in to my pain. I sold your life to save my own. I'm a loser. I'm not the hero you thought I was. I'm nothing. Meryl, I'm sorry. Forgive me.
Meryl can't forgive anyone anymore.
Otacon?
She's gone, Snake.
Because of me?
I guess blaming yourself makes it easier, huh? Focusing on that will keep you from thinking about her death.
What the hell do you know? Meryl's dead. I lost.
So, are you gonna stay here and die? Along with her? Snake. People die. But death is not defeat. That's what Hemingway said. I lost Wolf, too. But that wasn't defeat. She and I will be together forever. We didn't lose anything.
Together? Forever?
It's true that Wolf is dead. But our love didn't die with her. Life isn't just a game of win or lose. Don't you think? Let's live, Snake. There's a parking garage right next door. We can get to the surface from there. Come on. I released all the security locks. It'll be okay. We can escape. You have my word on it.
Otacon, you've changed.
I'm through regretting the past. Life isn't all about loss, you know? Ah! It started. Those guys seem like they only hurry when they're destroying things. Good. Let them destroy it. But they can't destroy the human spirit.
Okay. Let's go. Meryl, I hope you're still watching me. You'll see if I'm a legendary man or not. Come on, hustle.
Snake,
It's cold outside. You'll freeze like that.
My sneaking suit.
You better hurry. Hurry! Now you look like yourself again.
Aren't we happy Liquid took the time to undress him just because? So Rusty, I don't really like Kiefer. I'm sorry. He might be a good actor. He might have done a perfectly capable job of playing Big Boss, but that's not the voice. David Hayter has played Solid Snake and Big Boss all this time. Hey, Mr. Sam Kim, thank you for the host.
Uh-oh, a surveillance camera.
Are you in chat?
Uh-oh, no key.
Holy shit. Oh, I have no weapons. Damn.
It's got keys.
Jack Bauer for life. Yeah, but he's not Snake. He's not the real voice of Snake.
Snake, climb in. Let's go.
You might like Jack Bauer, but he has no business being Solid Snake. Let him be Jack Bauer. Just shoot the barrels. Yeah. Hey, Mr. Sam Kim, how are you doing? Thank you for the host. I don't know if you heard me thanking you before. Are you not streaming today, Mr. Sam Kim? Rusty, can you give Mr. Sam Kim a shout out, please?
Here they come!
Here these guys. It's much easier now that we have first-person views.
Here they come!
Snake, do something about that! Let's go.
Thanks, Rusty. It's gonna be in 1-8 anymore for some unknown reason. Kiefer doesn't do a good job. I think that might have even been what drove Konami and Kojima apart. Who knows?
Not yet, Snake!
Because I know Kojima really likes Hayter.
It's not over yet! Liquid!
And if you played Metal Gear Solid 4, you would know. Because there's even... the game starts with some real-life cutscenes. Like, as if you're watching TV and you can scroll through the channels and all of that. And one of the channels is an interview with David Hayter as himself, talking about just random stuff. Because Kojima wanted him to show up, because he was such a big part of the series. He would never do away with him just because, I think. It seems very weird to me. no problemo. I'm taking care of the Doge before I go live. Figured I'd shoot you a quick toasty. Thank you. Thank you very much. Have I met your Doge? I don't think I have. I only met the fake ones. Ghost. Maybe they all had a falling out. I don't know. I have no idea. It seems so weird to me that they would do away with Hader after giving him so much dynamism, because he didn't have to do that. And clearly, just like Liquid and Solid are not the same person. They didn't. He didn't have to pick Hader to play Big Boss, and he did. They are not the same voice actor. They're clones, but they're not the same actor. So the guy they're cloned from could not have been the same actor too, but he chose Hader just as well. Well, the game is over. There's nothing else to play. Thank you again, Mr. Sam Kim. I will drop by later.
So?
Otacon, can you move?
It's no use. I can't move.
Damn. Snake. Snake! Fox? Die.
In the original game, he never gets back up again. He just reaches out with his hand.
If he's dead, that means...
Don't think about it, Snake.
What happened to the air raid? No stealth bombers in sight.
Snake, can you hear me?
Colonel!
Are you okay?
Colonel, what happened?
The Secretary of Defense has been arrested. Early retirement.
Arrested?
I was able to get into contact with the President. Metal Gear, the training exercise, all of it. It was all the Secretary of Defense acting alone.
Acting alone? What happened to the air raid and the nuclear strike?
The orders were rescinded. The F-117s and the B-2 bombers have returned to the base. Once again, I have complete authority over this operation.
I see.
Washington isn't stupid enough to use nukes to cover up a few secrets.
I wonder about that.
In any case, the danger's over. Thanks, Snake.
Colonel, about Meryl.
I already know.
Colonel?
Meryl was my daughter.
What?
I didn't find out until recently. I got a letter from her mother, my dead brother's wife. I was going to tell her after this operation was over.
Colonel,
It's okay, Snake. Thanks anyway. Snake, I'm sorry I kept a lot of things from you.
It's okay, Colonel.
Snake, I'm not a colonel.
Oh, that's right.
I've got a present for you. There's a snowmobile close to you. Mei Ling saw it on the satellite photos. This time of year, the glaciers are pretty calm. You should be able to ride right out of there. I'll bet the boys at the DIA and the NSA never expected you to come home alive.
Me neither. I'd better not show my face around there.
No danger of that. You two officially died after your Jeep sank into the ocean.
That's not too far from the truth.
There's also a helicopter waiting for you at the Fox Islands.
Okay, Roy. Are you going to be okay?
Don't worry. I've got an insurance policy. A hard copy of all of Mei Ling's data. As long as I've got that, you, me, and Mei Ling will be fine.
The battery on these nanomachines will run out soon. They won't be able to follow us.
I guess we won't meet again.
Don't worry. I'll pay you a visit sometime.
Really? I'll look forward to that.
Roy, just tell me one thing.
What?
About Foxdie. What about me? It killed Liquid.
Naomi said she wants to talk to you face to face about that.
How is she?
Don't worry. Mei Ling's with her right now. I'm switching over to Naomi.
Snake, it's me.
Naomi?
I heard about my brother.
Frank wanted to tell you something. He told me to tell you to forget about him and to go on with your own life.
Frankie said that?
Yeah. He also said he'll always love you. Naomi, your brother just saved you, me, and the whole world. He fought on sheer willpower until the very end.
Maybe now he's finally found some peace. My brother was already dying. Ever since he fought with you in Zanzibar land, he's been like a ghost. A ghost looking for a place to die.
Naomi, Liquid died from Foxdie too. What about me? When am I going to go?
That's up to you.
What do you mean?
Everybody dies when their time's up.
Yeah, so when's mine up?
It's up to you how you use the time left to you. Live, Snake. That's all I can say to you.
And that's that.
Each person is born with their fate written into their own genetic code, inscribed into their genes.
This is really the last cutscene.
But that's not all there is to life. I finally realized that. I told you before, the reason that I was interested in genes and DNA. Because I wanted to know who I was. where I came from. I thought that if I analyzed my DNA, I could find out who I was, who my parents were. And I thought that if I knew that, then I'd know what path I should take in life. But I was wrong. I didn't find anything. I didn't learn anything. Just like with the Genome Soldiers, you can input all the genetic information, but that doesn't make them into the strongest soldiers.
Clearly not.
The most we can say about DNA is that its genetic information houses a person's strengths or destiny. You mustn't allow yourself to be chained to fate, to be ruled by your genes. Humans can choose the type of life they want to live. Snake, whether you've been programmed or not isn't important. The important thing is that you choose life. And then live. Don't you think, Snake? Don't worry. I'm gonna choose life too. Until today, I've always looked for a reason to live. But from now on, I'm going to just live.
I like it a lot, Rusty.
Genes exist to pass down our hopes and dreams for the future through our children. Living is a link to what will come. All life is tethered to the future. Loving each other, teaching each new generation, then the world can change. I finally realized it. The true meaning of life. Thank you, Snake.
You missed everything, Shonen. It's over.
Until today,
I'm sorry.
I've only lived for
Welcome
myself.
back.
Survival has been the only thing I cared about in my life.
That's not just you. That's how everyone is.
I only felt truly alive when I was staring death in the face. I don't know. Maybe it's written into my genes.
What about now?
I want to enjoy life. I really do. How about you, Otacon?
Me? I feel like a new man.
So what are you gonna do? Continue your research?
No. Science
Meryl
and
is
technology
deadly,
are fine,
Xandro. I'm
but
sorry.
humans are my interest now.
Sounds good.
The whole reason I got into science in the first place was because I was no good with people. I was scared of them. I was scared of life. I thought that I could never understand them because they're so illogical. But I've finally learned how to like people. There's no reason for me to be afraid anymore.
You and I are more alike than I thought.
I'm no wolf, but I'm not gonna just stand on the sidelines anymore. I'm gonna stand on my own 2 feet. I'm not gonna hide anymore.
You're giving up your stealth camo?
Huh? Oh, yeah. You can have it.
And we got a stealth camo.
So, this is where we say goodbye to our loves as well. Want me to drive?
No thanks. I'd rather do it myself.
No problem. Where to, Snake?
My real name is David Otacon.
I'm Hal, Dave.
Oh, that's right. Hal. Hal and Dave. That's a good one. Maybe we should take a trip to Jupiter.
So, where are you going, Dave?
I think it's time for me to look for a new path in life.
A new path?
A new purpose.
Will you find it?
I'll find it. I know I'll find it.
And that's it. Come on, Dave. It is a good one. I totally get it. I really don't. Oh, you don't? Hal and Dave are the main characters from 2001: A Space Odyssey by Stanley Kubrick. Hey, maybe you hadn't watched it. Who knows? So hey, that was Metal Gear Solid, the Twin Snakes. Hope you guys enjoyed that. I've been thinking a lot about this game, and I think this is my second time playing it, not the third. I remember more and more why I avoided coming back to it. So what did you miss? I would really encourage you to go back and watch. But well, I can... Did you watch the end of the fight? Play number 2 now? Yes, I'm playing in the GameCube. There it is. If you guys want me to play 2, 3, and 4, I can. Only watched a little bit of the end. Well, after the fight, he falls off the Metal Gear Rex, and Meryl is dead. And he kind of laments that, and Otacon comes in and kind of gives you the whole speech about why it's worth going on living even after your loved ones are gone. And they leave, and they're chased. They leave in a jeep, and they're chased by Liquid again, still alive. And then they have like an accident, and he gets the drop on them. Snake is helping Otacon, and Liquid comes in with a FAMAS in hand, and he just dies with Fox Die. And that's it. And then you should really go back and watch it. The reason I always choose this ending is, one, because it's easier to just give in to the torture. The torture is really hard to do. But also because if you leave with Meryl, she takes Otacon's place in the last cutscene. And she's on the jeep with him, and all of that. What's with the live action stuff? I think it's cool. She takes his place, and it's just a very happy ending, and kind of defeats the dramatic impact of the game sometimes. But canon is she's alive. Both she and Otacon appear on newer games. Otacon appears in 2 and 3 and 4, and Meryl appears in 4. It looks like a Bob Ross painting. That's because it's not HD, man. It's a GameCube game. Here in Argentina, it's difficult to get the GameCube. Why? Is it because it's too high tax, or is it just rare? What's the deal with that? I would think it's hard to get the game, not the console itself. the GameCube is really cheap here. I think you can buy a used GameCube for like 40 euros or something, which is about $40, a little more. But yeah, you don't get to find out Snake's actual name if you pick the Meryl ending. You don't get to find out Meryl is Campbell's daughter if she's alive, because it doesn't limit the fact that he never told her she was his daughter. This ending is a lot more complete, and I love the bond they have. I really love Otacon. He's a great character, and I love their bond about both of their loved ones being dead, Sniper Wolf and Meryl. I always thought she was actually dead because she wasn't mentioned in Metal Gear Solid 2. And Otacon was clearly there and alive. What happens if you pick her is Otacon stays behind to open the doors for you, but since the bombing is cancelled, they both live. And when she actually appears in 4...
You mustn't allow yourself to be chained to fate, to be ruled by your genes. Humans can choose the type of life they want to live. Snake, whether you've been programmed or not isn't important. The important thing is that you choose life. And then live.
This is very important.
Yes, sir. The entire unit was wiped out. Yes. Yes, sir. Thanks to the vaccine. Yes, those two are still alive. The Vector? Yes, sir. Fox Die should become activated soon. Right on schedule. Yes, sir. I recovered all of Rex's dummy warhead data. No, there are no other records. They've all been deleted from the base's computer. No, sir. My cover is intact. Nobody knows who I really am. Yes, the DARPA chief knew my identity, but he's been disposed of. Yes. Yes. Liquid is dead. The inferior one was the winner after all. That's right. Until the very end, Liquid thought he was the inferior one. Of course, the other one thinks so too. Yes, sir. I agree completely. It takes a well-balanced individual such as yourself to rule the world. Yes. Yes, sir. No, sir. No one knows that you were the third one, Solidus. What should I do about the woman? Yes, sir. I understand. The surveillance will continue. Yes. Yes. Thank you. Goodbye, Mr. President.
I am always a mongoose. What the fuck? There, final death counter 5. 25 alerts. 3 saves. Jesus. Solidus is such a bad name. They should have called him Cassius Snake. Bomb. Yes. A very great bomb. I don't remember if he actually calls him Solidus on the PlayStation 1 game. Besides the president part, what the fuck? Explain. What do you want me to explain? We are now going to take our time I will explain wherever you want me to explain. I'll just play around while talking to you guys. What do you guys want to ask about? Codename. Oh, that's because every person in Foxhound, which is the special unit, every boss is part of has a codename, which is an animal name. It's like a rank, and Mongoose is my rank. It's the rank they gave me for completing the game. That old damn conversation. The conversation is, if you didn't recognize the voice, it's Revolver Ocelot. Holy shit, did the president orchestrate all of this? No. That is not true. As previously mentioned, the person who orchestrated this was Liquid. There was a push by the president to do some things here after they were inevitable. There was a plant. So, well, you know who it is. Ocelot is a plant by the president. Solidus Snake, which you get to meet in Metal Gear Solid 2. So now I have a stealth camouflage, as you can see. Oh shit. I forgot this game had the Metal Gear Solid 2 rules.
It's the enemy. I need
But I am now still completely invisible. So Ocelot kind of manipulated Liquid into doing what he did. But Snake was never supposed to triumph here. Explain the whole story of one. Okay. So, to explain the story of one, I need to explain the story of the two earlier ones as well. I don't know if you're aware, Metal Gear Solid is actually the third game in the series.
I'm under attack. Stay alert.
Your Solid Snake said to stop Liquid Snake from arming a nuclear weapon that would start World War III. Yeah. Let's go up. What two earlier ones? Metal Gear. Oh, I need to replace the disc. Let me replace with this disc 2 with disc 1, and then we'll discuss everything. So, the first game in the series is Metal Gear. It came out on the MSX and the Nintendo Entertainment System. It was made by Hideo Kojima and Konami. It was his first game, I think. Almost sure about that. Let me skip all of this. And in that game, you are Solid Snake, and you're infiltrating a fortress with Metal Gear.
A Hind D.
Metal Gear was built there, I think, or was stolen. I don't remember exactly. But they have a clear threat against the whole world, a nuclear threat. And you are sent in to destroy Metal Gear. That's your whole objective throughout the game. The fortress is called Outer Heaven.
But if you're discovered by an enemy, you won't be able to use it.
Your CO is Big Boss. So he plays what role the Colonel plays here. Big Boss has your back throughout the whole game. He tells you what to do, how to do it. He's your advisor all the time. And one of the first things you actually do is rescue Gray Fox. He has infiltrated the base before you, but he was captured. So you have to release him, and he's going to help you get through the whole ordeal. And when you get to the end, plot twist, Big Boss is actually the guy who orchestrated all of that. And he's the bad guy, and he gets on the Metal Gear, you defeat the Metal Gear, and you defeat Big Boss, and that's game over. It's a very, very straightforward game. After that, Metal Gear 2 Solid Snake, also on the MSX, but an exclusive, has kind of like a rethread of that old plot, because I'm guessing Kojima didn't actually do what he wanted to do with everything, so he probably just thought he could do better with the plot he had before. I'm guessing that's what happened. So you actually already know that Big Boss is the bad guy, and he has taken over the fortress in Zimbabwe, or whatever it was. Rhodesia. Yeah, I think that's the country. He took it over. He has another Metal Gear. You go in to stop him. That's the first time Campbell is with you. Your outfit is the same. You're part of Foxhound, which was a unit of special soldiers with great skills created by Big Boss in his time. Yes, Zanzibar. Thank you. It's a Z, and I always get them mixed up. Zimbabwe is where Naomi comes from. I'm sorry. Yeah, Zanzibar land. That's exactly it. So they take over the whole Zanzibar land. Big Boss and his army. Gray Fox is with him. The whole army of Big Boss that you will get to know a lot better in Metal Gear Solid 5 is with him. And you actually go in, you fight Gray Fox on a minefield, and you kill him, supposedly. Apparently not, because he's alive here. And then you get to Big Boss, and you fight him, and he tells you he's actually your father, not just your mentor. But since it's your mission, and since he's threatening the whole world with nuclear devastation, you kill him, and that's the trauma that Psycho Mantis talks about in this game. And flash forward 6 years is when Metal Gear Solid actually takes place, and Snake has retired from Foxhound because he's deeply troubled by everything that happened during the mission in Zanzibar, having to kill his best friend, having to kill the only person who has ever told him he was his family, because he was raised as an orphan. And yeah, it is very deep. Snake is a broken man, and if you watch the briefings, which there are plenty of in the main menu, there are plenty of briefings which are just stills of characters speaking, and they're giving you layouts to every part of the base, a description of every enemy you will encounter. It's something that takes like 3 hours to watch. It's worth it if you really enjoy the game. It's not something I'm going to stream because I can't comment over that because they're always talking. There's no gameplay at all. It's just still images of the characters, giving you more lore, more information, more exposition, and yes, it might be a little too much sometimes, but it's interesting because they actually they think so much about all of this. And there's documents that you can read with the whole backstory of the earlier missions. But then you come in here and Snake has retired. The Colonel Campbell goes back. I get that it might be boring. Colonel Campbell goes back and recruits Snake because the whole, not the whole, but the 6 most prominent members of Foxhound have begun a rebellion. They came here as an inspection run, as an exercise to see if this base where random old nuclear warheads are disposed. They came here to check if the base was okay, and they suddenly had an insurrection and took it over. And they have 2 hostages, which are the DARPA chief and the president of Armstech, which are both two arms companies from the real world, I think. DARPA is, at least. And then you just come in here knowing that you are about to face 6 guys from your previous outfit that you never met because they joined after you left. And you're supported by Dr. Naomi and Mei Ling as well. And just as you come in, you rescue the DARPA chief, and he dies while talking to you. He tells you he gave there are 2 codes that are needed to activate Metal Gear. He actually tells you first that this base is actually a cover-up for the development of Metal Gear. It's not really a base for dismantled nuclear warheads. He tells you his code was taken by the terrorists because they have Psychomantis who can read minds, and he dies. And then you rescue the president of Armstech while battling a Revolver Ocelot. And when you rescue him, the president of Armstech tells you that everyone in that position should have mental implants that would never allow for their mind to be read. But he gave his code too because he couldn't resist torture, and he was tortured by Ocelot. And then you just keep moving and moving and moving, and you rescue Otacon, which was the guy that I ended the game with, and he was the chief engineer for the development of Metal Gear. But he was actually quite unaware of Metal Gear being a weapon, a nuclear weapon, a nuclear walking tank. He always developed it as being a mech, yes, with a railgun that could shoot down missiles. So it was kind of a... He always developed it as a defense thing, not a weapon to attack other countries with. That was another side of the project that Armstech dealt with. So the whole payload of missiles from Rex was never developed by HAL. HAL is his real name, HAL Emmerich. So then you rescue. You know that the override keys, which you need because the terrorists have the 2 passwords to activate Metal Gear. The override keys are with Meryl because she contacted President Baker before. And you find Meryl, she gives you the keys, but it's only 1 key. And then she gets she falls into a trap by Sniper Wolf, and you have to rescue her, which ends up making you get caught and tortured, and you actually have to endure torture for a long time for her to survive, or you can give in and supposedly she dies at the hands of Revolver Ocelot. So yeah, a lot of things happen. I'm skipping over all the bosses actually. But then you get to Vulcan Raven, and he actually tells you that the man you saw die before your eyes is not actually Donald Anderson, the DARPA chief. It was one of the guys from Foxhound, which was Decoy Octopus. He was disguised as a chief, and that's a riddle you have to really try to think on, because why would he do that? The question is, when you were imprisoned, there was a dead body of the DARPA chief next to you, but he was like killed for many hours. He looked like he was decomposing for a lot longer than he actually could have been. And then you realize that's his real body, and the guy you saw die drained all his blood and disguised himself as him to trick you into thinking the terrorists had the password. So that's why he never knew about the whole him having a mental resistance to mind reading. What I didn't mention was that President Baker also dies when you rescue him. They both die of a heart attack, both the supposedly DARPA chief and the president of Armstech, so you fail at the two hostage rescues. What ends up happening is that you are manipulated into using the override keys to actually activate Metal Gear instead of deactivating it. And that's the whole problem with being manipulated, why they went to all the trouble of impersonating a guy that was dead. In the meantime, you actually find out about the whole betrayal by Naomi as well, and why they died. Because she injected you with a virus, which is called Foxdie, that targets specific people. But it was not an actual revenge from her, because she is the sister of Grey Fox, which you killed. It's because it was part of the mission to just kill every member of Foxhound, and so that the government could retrieve Metal Gear undamaged. You actually find Grey Fox still alive in the base, which was the ninja. He appears in several occasions. He appears after the Ocelot boss fight, in which he slices his hand off, which is very important for the future of the series. And later on, you actually fight him head-on. He was terrorizing Otacon, trying to get Snake to come out. But then in the end, he actually helps you. And if you stay too long in prison, the way I got out of prison was when Otacon came in and gave me ketchup, and I dropped ketchup on the floor so the guard would think I was dead. But there are many ways to get out of prison. You can hide under the bed, and the guard just comes in looking for you like stupid. Or if you don't do anything and you wait for the guard to actually shit himself for 3 or 4 times, the ninja comes in and just slices open the door for you. So he's always helping, actually. He calls you on the codec, saying his name is Deep Throat, and telling you there are mines, telling you that the floor is electrified. The soldier who was guarding me, who was he? He's the guy. He's actually the guy that Meryl steals the clothes from in the beginning of the game, and he's significant later on Metal Gear Solid 4. He also appears in 2. There, I can say no more. I don't want to spoil it. I'm just spoiling the hell out of the first game because we just finished it. But I don't want to spoil the other ones. I love that they follow footprints of a guy who's invisible. So yeah, that's mostly it. You find out that the whole thing about the virus was always part of the plan, and Naomi actually didn't target you at all. She wanted revenge on you for killing her brother, but she never acted on that revenge. Actually, it just came to her naturally, I guess. She did fiddle with the code of the virus, but Snake was always supposed to die. Who knows what can happen or what she did. She never actually she doesn't have a cure. There is no vaccine. So even though he survived this mission, Foxdie will always live with him until he actually dies. So anyway, you end up activating the Metal Gear for the terrorists, and Liquid Snake is the one who will control it, because you actually killed Sniper Wolf, Psycho Mantis, and Vulcan Raven throughout the game. That I didn't forget anyone, did I? I don't think I did. Yeah, Decoy Octopus dies on his own. So Ocelot is nowhere to be found. He's the first boss, but he just falls on the sidelines. There they have a very important conversation about where to target when they fire Metal Gear, because they talk about Colonel Gurlukovich, which is Revolver Ocelot's ally, and he's very important in Metal Gear Solid 2. They all connect. Everything connects, and that's great to see, because you actually don't feel like they're thinking on just one game at a time. You actually feel like they have a setup in their mind of where things are going next. So Liquid gets in Metal Gear. He actually tells you that you two are twins, and that your father, Big Boss, was not actually your father. He was the guy you were cloned from, and he ended up taking you on as his pupil and teaching you why he was the best soldier to have ever lived. So yeah, you actually fight him. He explains all that genetic stuff that you saw. I don't know if you have any more questions, but that's the gist of it. You defeat him, and that's it. The Secretary of Defense comes in and takes control of the operation from Campbell. But if you remember, in the beginning of the game, Campbell says he's only a figurehead, that the Secretary of Defense is in operational control. So he doesn't come in out of the blue. You heard of him from the very beginning. He just hasn't appeared yet. He takes over, but then I guess when Ocelot contacts Solidus, he understands that he lost, that Campbell and Mei Ling will not be won't be controlled, and Snake and Otacon will survive. So he calls everything off and arrests the Secretary of Defense instead. And there is no bombing. and things do not go to hell. I don't know if that was an adequate explanation. I might have forgotten something, but I think that's the gist of it. It is a very complicated game to explain, but I could have skipped more. And if you guys want me to continue with the series again, some of the things I mentioned are important. This plot sounds a lot more like an MGS plot than the plot you gave me yesterday. Yeah, because there weren't that many plot lines yet yesterday. A lot of the plot lines are very hidden or are kept to a minimum until the game starts. I love doing this. The exclamation point and the interrogation points, the question marks, whatever they're called in English. I just love that. You're not under attack, you just were punched. The guards are really dumb. Seriously, I love doing this. Playing around with the guards is so fun. I realize I am a bad person. I do, I realize it. And if you get some C4, it's so much fun. Oh, this is where... This is the intro, when Master Miller comes in the first time.
It's been a long time.
Master, what are you doing here?
I quit being a boot camp instructor, so I moved out here for some peace and quiet.
We can let it play out.
I'm in retirement, just like you. Once in a while, I still help train the Alaskan Scouts.
Passing on the skills to a new generation, huh?
Campbell told me about the situation here. I thought I might be of some use.
There's no one I'd rather have in a foxhole than you.
Well, I know lots about survival in a harsh environment. I've lived in Alaska longer than you.
No,
so call me if you have any questions about the floor.
Just gives you the frequency. Forgot about this. Yeah, it's you didn't watch this cutscene because I didn't come in through this this ventilation shaft.
I moved the DARPA chief to the cell in the first floor basement.
What about the vent shaft cleaning?
Oh, they just opened the vent covers. They're about to start spraying for rats.
First floor basement ventilation shaft.
Shut those covers as soon as they're done spraying. Also, keep your eye on that woman in the cell. Don't get careless now.
Woman in the cell?
Did something happen?
There's an intruder.
Really?
He's already done 3 people.
He's killed 3 people?
Yeah, and they say he's using stealth, too.
Stealth? There's an intruder besides me?
Anyway, I want you to increase the security detail on the chief.
I never watched this cutscene because apparently on Metal Gear Solid 1, if you go through the bottom ventilation shaft, they have the same conversation in the ground floor. But in here, I guess they were lazy, and if you go through the bottom, you don't get the cutscene. Go figure. So now you have a stealth suit. Does it make this game easier? Yes, it does. A lot. No one sees you, except for the bosses. The bosses still see you. So you come in and you drop here. I assume you remember being here before. Oh yeah, now they're... So the cameras don't see me, the guards don't see me. All of that. Well, they kinda noticed something. Let's get some C4. You can play around with that. I always loved playing around with C4 when I'm on stealth. I didn't use my saved complete file before. Oh, I don't have the key card for the C4. Okay, whatever. Well, bummer. Not going to rescue the DARPA chief again. Not doing a whole another playthrough right after I finished the first one. But yeah. So I don't know if you have any questions that I can still answer, or if you would be up for me playing the other ones again. I already streamed them, so it's not a priority for me, but if you guys want to watch, I can do it. Let me just warn you right away that compared to 1, I mean compared to 2 and 4, Metal Gear Solid 1 is as basic as the plot of Crash Bandicoot. The plot in Metal Gear Solid 2 is actually the weirdest thing you have ever watched. It's a mindfuck all around. So what's Nastasha's role in all of this? She's a military advisor. You can call her to give you information on weapons, how to use them. Hey Jello, you made it. I already finished. I'm just answering questions and helping people figure out the plot. But thanks for being here. If you guys want to, I can play some other game. You can rewatch the Metal Gear Solids. It's all up to you. If you rewatch them, just know that they're played with XSplit, so sometimes there might be frame drops and all of that. Ace Combat. But I already played Ace Combat as well. Let's see what I have for GameCube right now that I can drop in. Is there any way for me to quit the game? Without Gran Turismo. Keep getting worse. That's not on GameCube though.